You got elected at a pretty pivotal time, right, to be here with SAG-AFTRA. I mean, it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in office now. This will be the end of our second year, and it's the end of our term. Fran Drescher and I were elected actually on a split ticket, which is not totally unprecedented. It's happened before, but we came in sort of opposite philosophies because of the parties we represent, and we have found ourselves so aligned in our thinking now, and we've grown together as a team, and we're actually running together in this election. So I'm proud to stand not behind Fran, beside her.
Yeah, dynamic duo. Let's just call it that, right? Because it's been decades since there was a strike. Was it always unanimous like this one is?
We haven't asked for a strike authorization since the late 80s. So, and I was still like in college. I mean, I probably had like my first job around that time. So I've been a union member. My first union, my parent union is Equity, which is for theater, and a union member in this union since 1983. So that's a really long time. But I don't remember the politics of it or what it actually meant to me at that point as a young woman, as a newly starting out in the business. What I do know is that I'm serving in a position that my mother held, secretary treasurer in the early 2000s, and it has been important to me to pull this legacy through and finally see to fruition some of the things that were her dreams.
I heard that Ronald Reagan actually was picketing with SAG-AFTRA too, which is kind of the ironic thing right now.
Yeah, I think that's the last time that we struck was when he was the president. But it did bring us a health plan and a pension plan and residual structure for the first time. And it's interesting. So in 2020, when I first kind of got galvanized to come back into union service, was when they put forth a contract that actually took health care away from the seniors. And so I was like, I got to get back in there and try to figure some of that out for the veterans and the icons of our industry. So we are doing that now. We are trying to fight for a contract that touches every single category, every single member. We're not going to leave background artists behind. We're not going to leave stunt performers behind, dancers, singers, broadcasters. I mean, you can't be a middle-class actor anymore. I heard young people walking on picket lines for the WGA, ramping up for this, who I said, well, what are the things that you care about? Like, what? So, healthcare. They were like, I've never earned enough to have my healthcare. So we have to change that. Interestingly enough, too, there are things in our proposal that don't add up to anything economically. It's just common sense and humanity, protecting people on sets in this hypersexual exposed work, or minors working, things having to do with minors on sets that are not part of the economic package. They are part of, protecting. That's what union is. It's family and it's our siblings, and we take care of them.
I mean, who are these people they seem to be behind a curtain?
It is really designed to mess with you. It is a long, crazy table, and I am looking directly into the eyes of people from NBC Universal and Amazon and Netflix and, Warner Brothers and looking down the line and they're humans, obviously, but they don't know what we do. They're not on sets. They're not, they don't do what we do.
You all are so courageous because you're out there. We all know.
Well, we went in and told stories about having to, I'll just pick something out, relocate. So you get hired on a series and, you're a young, in my case, I was a new mom, and they said, we might shoot the pilot, we're going to shoot the pilot in Toronto, but we might shoot the series in LA, which was a lie. They were always going to take it to Canada. So when I loved the job and I loved the role that I was getting to play, so I had this toddler, and they said, we're going to pick up your show, so get ready to move to Toronto. And I was like, what? Okay, well, I want the job. I'm not going to not go there. And then the amount of money that they pay to relocate you was very, very minimal. So we were, people came in with personal stories about that. Personal stories about equity in the hair and makeup trailer for people of color. When you walk in and you're a woman of color and you have curly hair, and I'm not that person, but I would, my sister Michelle Hurd, who says I walk in and somebody comes up to me with a brush, it's like, no, that's not I need to be represented. So there's a lot of different things
It's all these things that actually are investing into what actually goes on screen that they don't care about, it seems like. That it really reflects in your performance and everybody just kind of being fed and healthy, and it's kind of basic stuff for your art.
It is for 158,000 people, and the 2,000 aren't worried about that because they're negotiating way over the top as some of our stars do. This is about the working class.
Well, we'll see you out there.
All right.
And thank you for your courage.
Thank you.